collaboration of Kissinger and Rockefeller is completely condemning. Read along with me this document classified by Kissinger concerning his plan to reduce third world populations. It reads, quote, "There is a major risk of severe damage to world economic, political, and ecological systems, and as these systems begin to fail, to our humanitarian values. The urban slum dwellers, though apparently not recent migrants, may serve as a volatile, violent force which threatens political stability. In international relations, population factors are crucial in and often determinants of violent conflicts in developing areas. And there is no single approach which will solve the population problem. The complex social, economic factors involved call for a comprehensive strategy. At the same time, actions and programs must be tailored to specific countries and groups." According to Time magazine's managing editor, Walter Isaacson, whose biographies include Kissinger, having served the fledgling CIA as a Nazi hunter at the end of World War II, Kissinger was ordered to bring Nazis not to justice in the Nuremberg trials, but to America, to serve in high-level military and industrial positions. Here is the classified document showing his top-secret Nazi exfiltration program was carried out under the code name Project Paperclip. Chief officials in the Nazi Party ran a company called IG Farben. They were contracted with Rockefeller Standard Oil Company to develop rubber and purchase oil to gain the fuel for Hitler's war machine. Chief counsel and intelligence officer for the Rockefeller Standard Oil Company was, at that time, Alan Dulles. Here, from CBS News' award-winning correspondent, Paul Manning, from his timeless text, Martin Bormann, Nazi in Exile, is a photograph of CIA Director Alan Dulles next to IG Farben president and Rockefeller partner Hermann Schmitz. Among Paperclip's Nazis that went to work for the U.S. Navy was Eric Traub and his assistant Ann Berger. In 1951, Traub worked for the Naval Medical Research Institute laboratory in Bethesda. His work with Berger included investigating 40 strains of highly infectious viruses. Eric Traub was Hitler's top biological weapons developer. So America actually inherited Hitler's biological warfare program, and Kissinger knew all about it. 2 decades later, Kissinger was positioned in the Nixon White House by Vice President Nelson Rockefeller, who also appointed Henry to direct the Council on Foreign Relations study group concerning the deployment of nuclear weapons throughout Europe. This is how America came to develop, with the help of Kissinger and the CIA, its modern arsenals of nuclear and biological weapons. It was a sweet marriage between economic and political interests, government and private industry, directed secretly through covert intelligence.
Men wounded in battle we can deal with. But this strange disease. 30 men dead yesterday. 18 the day before. We need supplies. Plasma, penicillin.
I'll get you everything you need, Doctor.
You're Americans.
Now, there is one other official policy to consider as we begin this critical analysis of the United States government's featured program, History of Bioterrorism. A most important policy transition occurred over the past few decades that few people know about and is central to this examination of the government's true history of bioterrorism, disregarded, even censored by officials. just 2 decades after the report from Iron Mountain was released and its policies enacted, a policy transition known as the Revolution in Military Affairs occurred. This transition is formally credited to the United States Army's War College that issued a report on this revolution in 1994. But many of its strategies for population control began years earlier, as you can see in this publication from the 1960s. How important is this revolution? The military equated its content to the discovery of gunpowder and the atomic bomb that revolutionized warfare globally. This new type of military action emphasizes warfare, mistakenly called non-lethal. The weapons deployed in this revolution, like cancer viruses, are deadly, but they kill slowly and most expensively through medical management.
This is morphine for the pain. This is for the nausea that I'm going to have.
The constant battle with disease and pain has also left Jim struggling with depression.
God, I hate that stuff. Being tied to the pill bottle, being nauseous and sick all the time, is not quality of life for me. That's not life. I mean, I'm living, but I'm not part of life. Come on, Jim, relax. Relax. I don't know whether just to stop all the medications and allow the disease to run its course or to keep fighting. My dreams lately have been reliving my life. Every time they tell me that I'm near the end, I do that.
These non-lethal armaments include the use of toxic biological, chemical, and electromagnetic technologies, including genetically modified microorganisms called GMOs, used to slowly but surely make people sick. Here is where the use of the media, and especially Hollywood, comes in. Critical for the success of these weapons of mass destruction and these secret military operations is what's called command and control warfare, abbreviated C2W. Officials at the War College were very concerned that these new systems of control may run contrary to American values, and that their introduction might be opposed by, quote, unconditioned individuals. So the media has been used to change American values and condition everyone to accept new wars and methods of conducting war. Infusion of psychiatric teachings into American government, academic institutions, schools, and companies. Applied propaganda methods intensively. A specialized part of this revolution in military affairs involved chemical as well as biological weapons. This warfare provides a key for criminal cover, which is called plausible deniability. Experts say the CIA uses this all the time to get away with assassinations and other crimes. Worst of all, no effective cures can be found while the scientific community debates for decades about what is actually causing the many contemporary sicknesses and diseases experts increasingly say are related to this 1-2 punch, chemical, biological intoxication. Watch now as we begin the United States government's version of History of Bioterrorism.
The idea of using disease as a weapon gained a new level of sophistication in the early 1930s as nationally funded research programs on biological warfare were developed. The Japanese had a very active offensive biowarfare research program which included a battalion known as 731. In their program, the Japanese conducted experiments on humans using 15 to 20 different disease-causing agents, with anthrax being one of their favorites. Allied prisoners of war and innocent Manchurian civilians in nearby villages provided an almost endless supply of experimental subjects. When word of Unit 731 leaked to the West, Allied forces began their own programs, concerned that Japan and possibly Germany would gain a military advantage in biowarfare research.
On the third day after exposure, the casualties begin. Dead sheep can be seen further down the line.